Diana é uma viajante solitária que construiu sua vida em torno da liberdade na estrada, explorando a natureza e deixando cada jornada guiá-la sem destino certo. Mas em uma viagem específica, tudo mudou. Ela enfrentou a noite mais perigosa de sua vida. O plano era visitar as Shoshone Falls em Idaho. Ela estacionou, admirou a força da queda d'água e seguiu pelas trilhas, aproveitando a tranquilidade do cenário.
So hi everyone, I am currently at the Shoshone Falls in Idaho. Yeah, they say this is the Niagara of the West. Wow, it's beautiful here. This is first class visit, baby. Look at this.
Mais tarde, ela foi até a cidade para comer e depois voltou em busca de um lugar para passar a noite. O local estava deserto, silencioso e tranquilo, exatamente o tipo de calmaria que costumava apreciar. As horas se arrastaram enquanto ela ouvia ao longe o som suave da queda d'água.
I bought some stuff to cook, but it's not possible. So it is out of the question. So I have to went back into town and pick up some salad and some chicken. So that's what I'm gonna just have for dinner tonight. And I'm gonna spend the night here tonight. It's quiet and beautiful. By the way, I spent hours here just, listening to the silence. Everything is so silent and just feels so out of reach. I don't know how to explain it, but it's very quiet. Very quiet.
Quando a noite caiu de vez, ela se acomodou dentro do carro para descansar, mas por volta das 3 da manhã, tudo mudou. Um barulho repentino a despertou, passos pesados esmagando o chão do lado de fora. Seu coração acelerou ao perceber que alguém estava circulando em volta do veículo.
So quiet here. So I think I'm going to get a peaceful night. I should get a peaceful night's sleep tonight. Yeah. And yeah. So I am going to say good night and I will see you in the morning. Guys, someone is outside. I swear. Who is out there? Get away from my car, please. God, I'm leaving. Get away from my car right now. I'm gonna leave.
Ela gritou tentando afugentar quem ou o que estivesse ali, mas os passos não pararam. O medo tomou conta. Sozinha, no meio do nada, não quis arriscar. Ligou o carro e saiu dirigindo pela escuridão, indo direto para o Walmart mais próximo, onde sabia que estaria segura. Quando o dia amanheceu, saiu para verificar o veículo e percebeu que uma parte havia sido roubada.
Good morning, guys. All right, I ended up last night at Walmart parking lot. I didn't plan on it, but, it feels safe. I never knew that seeing shopping carts would make me so happy last night after pulling in. I couldn't shake it last night, and I wasn't able to fall back asleep. I heard the noise in front of my car, like that's where the noise was coming from. And like, like a pulling sound or, a scraping sound, like that kind of sound. So when I yelled and says, who is that? Who is out there? I believe I said, was what I said. I forgot because I was in panic. I heard footsteps or movement. I heard movement, like move away from my car and took off. So I jumped in the driver's seat and start my car, and I was out of there. When I said I was out of there fast, I was out of there. I didn't even turn around to see what was it. I don't know if it's a person. I don't know if it's animal, but they were at the front of my car. God damn it. My Cadillac amulet is missing. Can you believe that? Someone took my amulet. They stole my amulet last night while I was sleeping. Oh my jeez, oh my God.
Animal não teria feito aquilo. Quem estivesse do lado de fora do carro chegou perto o suficiente para levar algo, fosse um ladrão ou algo ainda pior. A ideia de ter sido observada enquanto dormia a deixou abalada. Para Diana, a tranquilidade da cachoeira desapareceu, substituída pela lembrança dos passos que rondaram seu carro na escuridão. Jordan e Lee vivem na estrada, aproveitando a natureza, viajando em sua van e seguindo a aventura aonde ela os levar. Mas a vida na estrada também pode trazer momentos de puro terror. Durante uma viagem em Utah, eles tiveram um encontro assustador que poderia ter terminado muito pior. Acampados há 5 dias aproveitando a solidão do local, tudo parecia tranquilo. Outro campista havia se instalado nas proximidades e, a princípio, não havia sinais de problemas. Mas, de repente, o homem se aproximou, irritado, agressivo e pronto para a confrontação.
This weekend we are headed to Bryce Canyon. Do you want to say what happened last night?
So do we have an interesting story for you? We were at our camp. We've been there for the past 5 days, and I haven't flown my drone at all, right? There's this guy that pulled in probably 4 days prior, and he's been parked there all week. Everything was cool, kosher. I got my drone out. I started filming the mountains. I'll show you some of that drone footage after this. And he comes over highly upset, saying that we were flying the drone over his campsite, which, keep in mind, guys, this is public land.
He came in hot too. He wasn't just like, "Oh, do you mind like not flying your drone? I don't like that." He was like,
yeah,
cursing and like.
Yeah, he didn't ask nicely. Honestly, I probably would have reacted different or responded differently if he would have came over and said, "Hey, you know, I understand you're flying your drone. Could you just not fly over the campsite?" That's not how he came in. He came in hot.
He came in aggressive. Hello.
Hey, is that your drone?
It is.
Sitting right over my camp?
Oh.
It's over here.
I see it's over there. A minute ago it was over my camp.
It literally hasn't gone past my head.
Bullshit.
It literally hasn't.
Bullshit.
I can show you my videos.
Listen, that's
Sir.
where I'm staying. Don't fly your drone over
You
my
think I
camp.
care about your camp more than these mountains?
You want me to kick your Is that it? Is that the best result?
Is that the way you want to go? I mean,
I'll go that way. I don't
bro,
have a
no
problem
one's
with it.
trying to
We'll
look
put the
into your
drone away.
camp.
We'll put the drone away.
I'm just trying to get these mountains.
That's the answer.
O casal estava pilotando seu drone quando o homem se aproximou furioso, acusando-os de sobrevoar seu acampamento. Jordan e Lizzie explicaram com calma que não haviam feito isso, mas ele não quis ouvir. Seu tom se tornou agressivo, as palavras mais duras, e em um momento chegou a ameaçá-los, dizendo que iria derrubar o drone.
You put the drone over my camper, I'm gonna kick your
That's fine. Look, the drone will not go beyond this fan.
It has not a minute ago.
Well, if it did, I apologize. But
You off, I'm gonna kick your so you get it
Okay.
over there again.
yeah,
You understand?
sure. I
Good.
understand.
You have the right answer.
Sorry about that. We'll put the.
I'm not
He's just
putting
trying to get the mountain.
I'm just trying to get the mountains. I have nothing
The
to do with
mountain's
this.
over there.
Yes, look,
You just had it over my camp.
because I'm shooting going towards the mountain.
I don't care what you're
Going
shooting.
towards the mountain.
We'll put it
Don't
away.
put the drone over my camp. You understand?
We won't put the drone over your.
Just stop talking
Do
to
you
him. Stop
understand?
talking to him. Sir, I told you
You
it
don't want to
won't.
wipe your
I
up
said it
off
won't
the
go
thing.
past the van. I
Do
said,
it again,
Sure,
and I'll you out.
sure. It
You
won't
want
go
to do the
past.
mountain? Do the mountain.
It won't go past the van. I already said that.
Good answer.
I said that before.
Dude, I'll shoot the drone out of the air, and I'll kick the
Sure, sure. I won't bring it towards your van.
Good idea.
We're done.
That's enough.
I won't fly it near your RV, like I said before.
You-
Okay? Deal?
Is this your place?
Yes.
Okay, good to know.
Do something.
Babe, stop.
Don't
About
say good
what?
to know. Don't listen. If
Please stop. Please stop.
if you're gonna threaten me, just
Please
like
stop.
I wouldn't threaten you, what do you expect? Is this your place?
No.
I didn't say that to you.
Say what?
Is this your place? Good to know.
Yes.
What does that mean?
It means you're flying the drone over my place, and you're telling me this is your place.
Dude, this isn't my place. I'm just on public land trying to get video of
I'm
them
ready
out.
to take you down, dude.
Dude,
Just stop.
You should
please.
be careful.
listen.
Okay.
Hold on. Let's just start over.
I'm gonna
Let's
get your
just start over.
license plate. You
Let's-
don't know who the I am.
That's fine. Let's start over.
No, I ain't starting over. Keep your drone off the
That's-
top of my place.
that's fine.
It.
Okay.
You've been here for a while since I've been there.
I have.
No problem. Your
Sure.
drone just flew over my place.
And I
Keep the
apologize. And
That's all you had
and
to answer, dude.
Well, because I didn't fly it over your RV, but I apologize if it went over it. My apologies. It won't go further. Than
Don't
the
tell
fan.
me
It won't go further.
what
than-
I've seen
Okay.
like I'm making it up.
I apologize. It will not go near your RV.
A tensão era palpável, ninguém cedia, até que finalmente o homem se afastou deixando seu acampamento para trás. Mas em vez de alívio, Jordan e Lizzie sentiram um frio na espinha. Por que ele havia deixado o acampamento assim? Estaria voltando para fazer algo contra eles? Eles não esperaram para descobrir. Arrumaram tudo rapidamente e partiram, sem querer arriscar o que poderia acontecer em seguida.
Yeah, so we ended up just leaving that camp spot last night. It was just safer just not to stick around, and we
and
left.
then he left, but he left his camper
Yeah.
there, which was sketchy. We're like, why is he leaving? And
That's
leaving
another
his
reason.
camper?
That's another reason we left.
Like, what is he gonna go get? So
yeah.
we immediately packed up and left.
Guys, I would have flown my drone for like 10 minutes. 10 minutes tops. You know, he's been there all week.
We've been there all week and didn't get one drone shot. We
Yeah.
were just gonna get the sunset on our last night, and that was it. So,
And you know us, guys. We stay on public land. It's not like he paid for this campsite. Like, everything was public. Like, he walked up to where we were camping with no problem. But he kept referring to his campsite as, like, his property. So I was like, okay.
people were asking, show the camp, like show us the camp. He was never in frame. We never even captured his camp. That's like how in the wrong he was. We weren't videotaping him. The drone was just over, like straight above our camp. So he thought since he was kind of close that it was over his. We just had to be far enough to get the wide shot of the mountains. But our camp or his camp were not in the view range.
Yes. Others were asking, why wasn't he in the video? Why didn't you give your wife the phone so she could film him? Guys, we set the phone up on a tripod and we were doing a TikTok live. Neither of us had the phone in our hands to video record him.
And we didn't want him to know that there was something else recording in case he would get even more upset, because this happened like out of nowhere and we just reacted. We didn't like set up the tripod or move it or anything. It was just going.
The next thing is, and I'll let her answer for you guys, why didn't your wife support you or defend you
Or back you up.
or back you up?
So we live in a world where people are crazy and will snap at a lot less than even a drone. Like I'm from Miami. I've seen situations where people were unalived just from honking a horn in traffic. And recently in Utah, which is where this took place, there was an altercation at a restaurant where a guy smashed a beer bottle and unalived someone's daughter because of a dumb conversation. So you don't want to, it's not worth getting into a fight or escalating a situation over something as dumb as this situation. So I was just trying to diffuse, just say whatever I had to say to get rid of the guy. And I was just like, yeah, let's put the drone away. It's not worth the argument to escalate anything or for it to get out of hand. Like, there's no need for either of us to be in danger.
Mais tarde, eles explicaram o quão perigosa a situação parecia. Porque ser confrontado de forma agressiva no meio do nada é aterrorizante. Em locais tão isolados, tudo pode sair do controle rapidamente e se tornar mortal. Antes de irmos para o próximo vídeo, inscreva-se no canal para receber toda semana novos conteúdos assustadores. E bora para o próximo vídeo. Theo viaja desde 2022 com seu gato Lars, vivendo o sonho da vida na van. A estrada trouxe liberdade e aventuras, mas também revelou seu lado mais sombrio. Em uma de suas viagens, ele saiu para um fim de semana de camping e trilhas. A manhã estava perfeita, raios de sol atravessando as árvores altas e uma caminhada tranquila, com apenas o canto dos pássaros ao redor.
What's up, guys? My name's Teo, and I travel full-time in my self-converted 2001 Ford E250 with my cat Lars. Right now I'm in Colorado, Leadville to be specific, and I am on a hike with a few friends with this beautiful freaking view. I mean, you can't really beat that. But yeah, we got a lot planned while I'm here. I was in California for a minute, and I just decided to drive down here. We have a lot of fun planned, so can't wait to show you guys some of the stuff that goes on. But yeah, let's get back to this hike.
Depois disso, ele voltou para sua van e se encontrou com alguns amigos, aproveitando dias tranquilos de comida, risadas e pequenas explorações. Mas uma noite dessa viagem mudou tudo. Eles estacionaram em um acampamento, uma área aberta cercada por floresta densa.
You and Bunny, good job. So I think tonight we're gonna do a fire, and yeah, I think that's all we got planned for right now. How you feeling, Collie?
Good.
Good?
Definitely Longhorn sheep.
Yeah,
Definitely.
beautiful. It's a beautiful area.
Yeah.
We're gonna do a fire right there. With your aunties? It's a beautiful day, man.
I know.
Beautiful evening.
Candy sky. It's gorgeous. Oh my god.
Don't take on candy.
Can you take a picture?
O clima mudou de repente. Nuvens pesadas tomaram conta do céu, carregadas de chuva. Ainda assim, todos decidiram passar a noite ali, cada um recolhido em sua própria van. No começo, apenas ruídos distantes cortavam o silêncio, nada que parecesse estranho. Mas na manhã seguinte, ao verificarem a câmera de trilha, o que encontraram os deixou apavorados.
Yeah. I caught the tail end of it. They gonna walk past again? Yep, they just kept walking.
Look at those shoes. Those what?
Yeah, those are black shoes.
Those are sandals.
Sandals?
Yeah, and those are gray sweatpants. What are they doing?
What are they doing? Are they kicking my tire?
They're doing something.
Dude, and I thought I heard something messing around outside.
I did too.
See, I don't like that, because I heard stuff last night too, but I was like, I'm not gonna let myself get scared.
We're not staying here tonight, guys.
Of course not. Absolutely not. That's...
6, they all of a sudden, there they are. They go across rapidly in slides. And those pants are oversized.
Yeah.
So at first I thought, okay, maybe that's Riley right there. Because those aren't cuffed at the bottom.
Yeah.
Okay? Right? But then they go past again. Okay? That's at 9:41. Riley was already in. And then they come over and start kicking at my van.
That definitely wasn't me.
No, you're not over here
Yeah,
playing.
that's not you. That's not any of us.
No. Wait, was that another set of legs? See, this has a cuff on the bottom. The other one didn't have a cuff.
Yo, that's multiple people.
That's 2 people.
Have cuffs on
Yeah,
it.
this has cuff. The other one was loose. And like, these are not my pants. Because my pants have a design.
I don't have a single pair of
So
pants
you
that
would
have cuffs.
see the design in the pants because I've worn these in front of the camera before. So that's not me. Okay? And then that's at 9:42.
Morning, guys. So this morning we all woke up, we all got out of bed, we were starting to make breakfast, and then we were just kind of chatting. We're talking about how we all were hearing things last night in this very like private area that we're parked at. We were all hearing stuff last night, and it just so happens that Bunny put out a trail cam under Riley's van pointing at her van last night, because yesterday we saw like a group of bighorn sheep, so we were thinking maybe we'll see more critters, squirrels, stuff like that. But as we were talking about us hearing stuff last night, she went to go check the trail cam. There were literally 2 people we saw walking through our camp, like, and they stayed in our camp, like, while we were all in our vans. We didn't see them. We all heard stuff, but we didn't see anything. And that is just really creepy because we are here, like, literally. Why would someone be in our camp? 2 people at that. We don't know who it was, but yeah, we decided that we're not gonna stay here again. I've seen enough horror movies to know how that turns out, so.
No meio da noite, 2 figuras foram registradas vagando pelo acampamento. Em certo momento, uma delas chegou a chutar a lateral de uma das vans. Não eram campistas. Não pareciam viajantes de passagem. Haviam entrado sorrateiros durante a escuridão, circulando entre os veículos em silêncio. O grupo tomou o café apressado, quase sem trocar palavras, e decidiu ir embora imediatamente. A ideia de desconhecidos rondando suas vans na madrugada com intenções nada claras foi o suficiente para encerrar a viagem antes do previsto. O que será que essas pessoas realmente queriam naquela noite? Estavam apenas curiosas, tentando assustar, ou tinham intenções muito mais sombrias? Deixe a sua opinião aqui nos comentários. Keith e sua fiel companheira Cora já estavam acostumados com a vida ao ar livre. Ele passava os dias de folga explorando trilhas, acampando e aproveitando a natureza. Mas em uma viagem tempestuosa ao Lake District, o que deveria ser apenas mais uma aventura simples acabou se transformando em uma luta assustadora contra as forças da natureza. O clima já estava difícil quando ele começou. O vento o atingia com violência a cada passo, a chuva caía sem trégua e a subida pelas rochas se mostrava traiçoeira.
This is Stickle Tarn, and somewhere up there in the Clag there's Harrison Pike, but we can't see it. But I'm sure we can find it. Just slipped on the path because it's a bit like a stream, and landed on my knee. It's absolutely knocked me sick. It's hurt that much, so I'm just gonna sit for a minute and see how it is. The nerves. Back up and moving again. Well, that really hurt, that. I just slipped backwards, so I threw myself forwards and whacked my knee on a piece of rock, but it seems okay.
Em um momento da escalada, Keith escorregou e machucou o joelho, mas mesmo com dor decidiu continuar, determinado a montar acampamento. Depois de muito esforço, encontrou uma clareira e levantou sua barraca. Ele e Cora se abrigaram lá dentro, dividiram a comida e tentaram descansar, mas o vento não dava trégua. A cada rajada parecia ficar ainda mais forte.
It's getting late now, and I've been walking for quite some time trying to find a pitch, and I think this looks out over there. Over the tarn, but you can't see it, but I think this is possibly as good as I'll get, and it ain't flat. And this brown grass is gonna be sodden. It's probably as good as I'm gonna get. Right, I'm gonna let my meal soak now, and I'm gonna have a little nip of vanilla flavoured vodka, so we'll see what that's like. Only a little bit though, given the weather, because I don't know if I might have to bail. The wind's really strong at the moment, and if it gets any worse, then I'll hopefully be alright. It's a good 4-season tent, but you never know. It's a tent, it's not a brick house, so we'll see how it goes. Oh, the wind's really getting up now. It's got really a bit concerned. I have no idea how strong they are, but it's really strong. The tent's getting battered. But I'm double poled and I've got delta pegs in, so at least delta pegs in the come here, look, in the parts that need to be held well. so hopefully it'll hold up well through the night. So I've just put my little wind meter out. I don't know if it's showing, but there you go. It's showing at the highest with the gust 70 mile an hour. But it tends, as I say, the double poles, it seems okay. But I'm certainly aware that we might have to bail if it gets any worse. Don't want to, we're quite high up and it's a long way down. We'll see how the night takes us anyway. But for now,
As rajadas batiam contra a barraca com tanta força que a sacudiam violentamente. Keith conferiu o anemômetro. Marcava ventos de 110 km por hora. Seu abrigo estava por um fio. Durante toda a noite, a estrutura gemeu e se dobrou sob a fúria da tempestade. Keith quase não conseguiu pregar os olhos, ouvindo o vento uivar como se quisesse arrancar tudo do lugar.
Genuinely got me a bit worried now. The wind's unbelievably strong. I'm hoping we don't have to bail because it's a long way down to Langdale. But this is the most worried I've ever been camping. It really is gusting strong now. I'll keep it up to date as we go along, but now it's a worry now, it really is. The weather's still horrendous. It's 5 AM and the tent's just absolutely getting hammered by the wind. Just waiting for it to get light, and then we're going to pack up and have the treacherous walk down because it's going to be difficult walking, I think, in this wind. Not bothering making a drink or anything, just going to get off as soon as it's light.
Às 5 da manhã, com a tempestade ainda furiosa, ele esperava desesperadamente pelo amanhecer, pronto para desmontar o acampamento assim que fosse seguro. Pela manhã, os ventos finalmente começaram a diminuir. Keith e Cora desceram a montanha, abalados, mas ilesos. No entanto, o pensamento não o deixou. Se a tempestade tivesse piorado, sua barraca poderia ter sido destruída, deixando-os expostos e obrigados a enfrentar uma descida perigosa no escuro. Foi um lembrete de que a natureza é bela, mas pode se tornar mortal em um instante. Ben é um youtuber conhecido por investigar conspirações e se aprofundar no desconhecido, desde criaturas misteriosas a encontros estranhos e tudo o que estiver no meio. Para esta viagem, ele tinha um local específico em mente, uma floresta cercada de relatos de atividades incomuns. Determinado a descobrir a verdade, Ben preparou seu equipamento e levou sua fiel companheira, Lily, junto. Logo após chegar, resolveu tentar algo diferente. Pegou sua flauta, que acredita ser capaz de atrair essas criaturas ao enviar vibrações pela floresta. Sentou-se e tocou por um tempo, aguardando para ver o que aconteceria.
So now that camp is set up, there's camp. There is only one thing left to do, and that is lure in any curious, intrigued, bipedal, freakish-looking, tall, creepy, undiscovered, unexplainable, mysterious cryptids that may be in the area. And the way we do that is with a Native American.
Depois ele se acomodou na rede antes de sair para uma pequena trilha. Enquanto caminhava, Ben lembrava-se de relatos recentes de avistamentos estranhos no Reino Unido. Com incêndios florestais destruindo habitats, alguns moradores afirmaram ter visto criaturas andando sobre duas pernas.
I've had a lot of really strange reports coming in. Really strange reports, in fact. And the weird thing about these reports is that they coincide with the wildfires that we're experiencing here in the UK. So up on the North Yorkshire moors, obviously it's moorland, and there is a lot of wild grass and heather. And during the summer months, when all that is really dry, it just takes one individual to drive through, toss a glass bottle out of their car, and then along comes a sunny day, and the sun's rays hit this glass bottle at the right angle, and whoosh, it all goes up into a blaze. But what I'm interested in is the reports. I've had a massive influx in reports from around that area. Now, people have been emailing me. One email in particular really stands out, of a guy seeing something on 2 feet, tall, slender, running across the scorched earth. Now, you know, I'm not speculating here, I'm just throwing things out there. If there was a fire that wiped out a certain creature's habitat, it would flee in the hopes that more habitat would be somewhere else to be found, meaning that it would have to cross the open terrain. Hence why people are now seeing these things leaving the area.
Será que esses incêndios teriam forçado as criaturas misteriosas a saírem de seus esconderijos? A ideia deixou Ben inquieto. Quando a escuridão chegou, a floresta ficou assustadoramente silenciosa. Enquanto caminhava perto de sua rede, de repente ouviu vozes, 2 homens conversando em algum ponto próximo. Ben congelou, apagou rapidamente sua lanterna e ficou em silêncio por quase 10 minutos, sem querer ser visto.
I thought I heard talking about 2 minutes ago. Literally froze dead in my tracks. I was about to press record and start talking, and I heard what sounded distinctively like 2 males in conversation. So I quickly tipped my torch up and stuck the bulb end into the ground to kill any of the light. I don't want nobody seeing me out here, because for as far as I am concerned, there should be no other idiots out this far into the country other than me at this time of night. I've sat and waited in silence for about 5-10 minutes. I've not heard anything since, so I'm kind of hoping that it was maybe some misidentification. Maybe it was the rustling of the tarp or some of these branches on top of the material. I'm not sure, but yeah, it did really freak me out because it sounded like 2 really close male voices.
Eventualmente, as vozes se dissiparam e ele se convenceu de que não era nada. Mas de volta ao acampamento, cada pequeno som atormentava sua mente. O estalar das folhas, o vento que mudava de direção, o som distante de galhos se movendo. Ele não conseguia se livrar da sensação de que algo estava lá fora.
Something definitely walking around out there. I don't know what it is though. The one thing I hear is when I hear the wind blowing and there's leaves running across the floor, there's sticks snapping, and then there's rain and drizzle hitting off all these thousands, if not millions of leaves. It's difficult to zone in to anything beyond that noise, and that makes you feel very, very vulnerable, because if something is walking out or walking around out there, if something is trying to creep closer, all those different sounds camouflage that movement, camouflage that whatever it is. You heard that right? There was some definite, deep, walking footsteps.
Passos pesados começaram a circular pelo acampamento. Ben parou, imóvel. Lentamente, ele deu uma olhada entre as árvores, mas não conseguiu ver nada. Ainda assim, sabia que algo estava ali. Tentando manter a calma, Ben fez uma pequena caminhada, esperando aliviar a tensão. Mas a sensação de estar sendo observado nunca desapareceu.
I just went for a little walk, only about 10-15 meters away from the camp. But it felt like something was matching my footsteps. Now, I'm not saying that this is something weird, I'm not, please don't think that. I'm just documenting what I'm feeling and what I've experienced. If it's a deer, it's the bravest deer I've ever seen out in the wild. Because it wasn't trying to get away from me. certainly wasn't in a rush or a hurry to leave this area.
O ar ficou pesado e todo o instinto dizia a Ben que ele não estava sozinho. Quando finalmente voltou para sua rede, deitou-se completamente alerta, lanterna na mão, observando a escuridão. Dormir era impossível. Pela manhã, exausto e inquieto, Ben desmontou o acampamento. Enquanto tomava café e relembrava a noite, os sons giravam em sua mente. As vozes, os passos, o silêncio opressor. Seriam apenas animais selvagens? Ou algo muito mais misterioso o havia seguido? Uma coisa era certa: aquela seria uma noite que Ben jamais esqueceria. Se você chegou até aqui e curtiu o vídeo, não esqueça de se inscrever no canal e deixar seu like. Isso ajuda muito. E aproveita que eu separei mais um vídeo aqui em cima para você assistir agora.